Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's happening, gamers? This your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you. Remember to hit like, subscribe. Please hit that like button. It helps spread my content out to a wider audience, and I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you can get notified when I put out new content. So it's been about a week. I know I haven't put out anything in about a week. I've been really busy trying to get things in order, and plus I wanted to take a few days to try to formulate an opinion on what's been going on with the latest gaming news. As usual, I usually give more opinions than actual facts, or I take the facts and get my opinions off of those. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. I've been thinking about the last 3 generations of gaming, Microsoft in particular. The last 6 or 7 years has been a bumpy road for them. They had obstacles and opposition right out of the gate, with Sony being the biggest opponent, but Microsoft chose to get in the ring with them, so it is what it is. The PS2 launched in October of 2000 and it sold 155 million units. Well, the original Xbox launched a year later in November of 2001 and that sold 24 million. Microsoft didn't make any bad decisions. They just got their asses whooped. You put a 10-year-old kid on the court with Michael Jordan and that's what happens. So this brings us on to the next generation, the PS3, Xbox 360 generation. And I'm not going to spend a terrible amount of time talking about that generation, but I just wanted to point out a quick chart right here that as of September 2017, the PlayStation 3 had 86.89 million units sold to date, and the Xbox 360 had 85.8. So they beat them out by 1 million. And the PS3 had they got started 1 year later, so both companies made some mistakes. PlayStation with the $600 launch, and the 360 with the red rings of death. But I will say this: if the PS3 would have launched at the same time as the Xbox 360 did, and they would have launched that console at $400, the same as the Xbox 360, I think the PS3 would have had 100 million units sold by now. So considering the late start that the PS3 had, and considering that high price tag when it first got started, to be at the number that they're at right now is not bad at all. So I don't think other than the red rings of death, well, I guess that was the biggest mistake right there. Rushing that console out caused the red rings of death, because they put out a console that just wasn't ready yet. But other than that, I think they still would have lost that generation anyway, because of the PS3 global appeal. The success from the PS2 carried over to the PS3. So like I said, if it wasn't for the $600 launch, and getting a year late start behind the 360, they probably would have beat Microsoft right out the gate during that generation too. This brings us to the current generation. As you can see on this chart, as of January 13th of this year, the PS4 sits at 74.3 million units sold. If you divide that over a 4-year span, that comes out to be roughly 18.5 million consoles a year. You take a look at Xbox, and they sold 36.6 million to date, about half that of the PlayStation. And I heard a while back that Microsoft was aiming for 200 million units sold with the Xbox One. Even if Microsoft sold 1 million units a week, they still wouldn't hit that number by the end of 2019. So take a look at this next chart. During the week of January 13th, 2018, PS4 sold 55,600 units in North America and 264,000 units globally. During that same week, Xbox sold 45,676 units in North America and 88,596 globally, with a dreadful 105 units sold in Japan. Now this damage was self-inflicted. Microsoft's biggest mistake wasn't the DRM. It was trying to go after the casual gamer with an all-in-one media device, a $500 price tag, and a lack of exclusives to boot. Now think about this for a second. You go to the mall and Microsoft is the Foot Locker store with lots of gym shoes and sports apparel geared towards athletes. At some point, Microsoft decided to go after the casual shopper, the people who walk around the mall looking at mannequins but don't buy shit. So now, instead of sports apparel, the store is filled with Levi jeans and Docksiders. And to make it more fucked up, the jeans cost $100 when you can go to JCPenney and get them for $60. How long do you think a store will stay in business operating like that? Software sales sunk even further, and that brings us to this desperate move called Game Pass. The media acts like Microsoft revolutionized gaming, and they're the only ones with a streaming service. They're not the first to implement a streaming service, and they won't be the last. In fact, with all the shit that awaits them, Microsoft might be jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire. We know Steam is out there, PS Now has over 600 games, but the lag makes it a terrible experience. You know, Nvidia has a streaming service, and Google just announced a streaming service and a possible console. There's also a streaming service called Utomic, that's in beta right now, and that launches later this year. Utomic's library is going to have over 700 games at a cost of $7 a month, with a 4-person family plan for $13 a month. You know, Microsoft only had to deal with Sony in the hardware department this generation until the Switch came along, but they'll deal with several entities with Game Pass, and they won't even scratch the PC landscape with its current library of games. You know, Microsoft got tired of the ass whoopings, you know, in the boxing ring, but it's gonna be even worse in the UFC, where a bunch of savages will be waiting to tear their ass cheeks off. So, you know, Microsoft's gonna have his work cut out for him jumping into that streaming service, because like I said, there's several entities out there, and we already know that Steam pretty much runs the PC landscape, and with its current library of games, I just don't see how Microsoft is gonna make a big impact. If they do, it's not gonna happen for years. So we'll see how this plays out, but like I said, you know, they got their work cut out for them. They just not gonna walk into this gaming as a service and think they just gonna run shit. But sound off. Let me know what y'all think. This your boy Lincoln Clay. I'll holla.